Welcome to the Cup Night channel. My name is Shane, and today I am bringing a message to you from the Pigeon. Yes, our animal guide today for this message will be the pigeon. And pigeons, well, humans have a love-hate relationship with pigeons. Most people are annoyed that they poop on everything, and they can also spread disease. But we've also had thousands of years of history with these birds. I actually just read about this a little bit before I started recording. They're one of the first domesticated birds in the history of humanity. I mean, just look at them here. They're actually quite beautiful, I think. Look at the lovely, like, greenish blue, purple hues on their necks and their breasts there. And, you know, this one, he's just more gray, or she. I'm not sure if the males have the colorful necks or the females, I don't know. But either way, still a very beautiful, and look at it, this bird is like eyeing, many of them are, they're looking directly at the camera, obviously very aware and intelligent. They were used as messengers. Here, actually, I left this article up because I wanted to read this. Pigeons have held historical importance to humans as food, pets, holy animals, and messengers. Due to their homing ability, pigeons have been used to deliver messages, including war pigeons, during the 2 world wars. So both world wars, pigeons were used actively in them, which is pretty crazy. Despite this, city pigeons, which are feral birds, are generally seen as pests, mainly due to their droppings and a reputation for spreading disease. So yes, like I said, love-hate relationship. But, yeah. On this particular card, it's the Archanimal Tarot by Bernadette King, for anyone interested. It says channeling, home, and gentleness. And you can see here we have what appears to be a parent pigeon nurturing their child here. Very sweet. Little depiction there. So, this coming up today is interesting for me. I woke up this morning at 5:30. I'm trying to wake up earlier and get into a new routine for the new year. And I could not remember my dreams. Like, when I woke up, I was like, oh, whoa, this dream is crazy. And then, like, 3 seconds after my awareness of waking up, it just, like, vanished. And that normally doesn't happen to me. Normally I can hold on to my dreams very easily. I always write them down in the mornings. I journal them. But this one, it just vanished. I was like, okay. I even, like, when I was sitting down to journal, because even if I can't remember the dream fully, I'll just write something about how I feel or whatever. But I sat down and I closed my eyes and I was like, okay, go back to the dream this morning from last night. Go back to the dream, go back to, And no. It's like I couldn't access it no matter how hard I tried. So, and same thing happened with my morning meditation. It was a nice, deep, relaxing meditation, and it felt very good, but it's like I went into this very deep part of myself and just lost consciousness. And then when the meditation was over, I came back and I could not remember anything from where I went, which is kind of strange for me, because normally I can remember like visions and hearing things or seeing things, with my eyes closed, but not this time. And I even, right before this recording session that I'm doing, I tried, and same thing. I went to a super deep meditation, basically fell asleep practically, like a little nap, and then the alarm went off, and I woke up and I couldn't remember anything. So I found it interesting because I always peek at the astrology for the day to see what's going on with the planets whenever I do my dream journal, to see how they interact with my dreams and what patterns emerge, right? And so Neptune, the planet of dreams and dreaminess and illusory things, right, is pretty close to Saturn, the planet of boundaries and structure and, like, physical things, right? Time. They're both in the 11th house, but they're opposed to the moon. And the moon is another very intuitive celestial body to do with dreams, right? The moon is often associated with dreams and imagery and just human history in general. But they're opposing each other. And I find it interesting that Saturn's in this mix because it's like Saturn is what brings structure and form and like concreteness to things, and this opposition, it's a tension, right? It's like a hard aspect, they call it. So yeah, I was having trouble forming memories around my dreams, Neptune and the moon. And I thought, oh, well, this explains it. I mean, there's a really tight opposition between Neptune, conjunct Neptune, Saturn, and the moon. So there you go, just one example. Now today is Thursday, so I'm looking to connect with Jupiter to bring forth this message. And Jupiter is currently in Gemini. If we look at where it is in the actual sky, this is Stellarium, stellarium-web.org. You can find the link in the description. It's really cool. It shows you where the planets are in the sky based on scientific observations. It's not Western tropical or sidereal astrology. It's what they call real sky or true sky astrology. It shows you where the planets actually are, because constellations are different sizes. They're not all 30 degrees actually, right? There's nothing wrong with Western tropical or sidereal astrology. They're useful systems. They've been around for thousands of years. They have value. It's just, I like using this system because I can intuitively connect to it, and it bridges the gap between the spiritual side of me and the scientific side of me, and I really like that. So I feel like I always need to give that spill. I don't know why. People probably get confused, I feel, if they see this. But anyway, so today is January 8th, 2026. It's about 1:05, 1:06 where I am right now as I'm recording this. And yeah, Jupiter is in Gemini heading towards Cancer. And if we look at it on the chart here, there's Jupiter retrograde. I believe it will be retrograde until like March this year. So actually it's not heading towards Cancer. It's actually, to us, it appears to be moving backwards in the sky, even though it's not really moving backwards, right? It's always orbiting in one direction. But to us it looks like it's moving backwards because we're going faster at a, closer to the sun orbit, so it creates these illusions. Anyway, here I go again, explaining, right? Very Gemini kind of energy coming through. I just want to like blah, 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 blah. Share information and speak and talk, and yeah, I definitely feel that. And Jupiter is expanding that energy, for sure. And it's in the third house, just coming out of the second house, and you can see it's making really tight oppositions with this conjunction of Venus, Mars, and the Sun in Sagittarius on the cusp of the 8th and the 9th house. So very interesting energies here going on. Definitely, I thought today was going to be difficult, but it's actually been a pretty fun day for me. So yeah, maybe you're experiencing something similar. I don't know. We're all different, right? You have to take a look at your natal chart to really know what's going on with you internally. But for me, even despite the global astrology we see here, I'm actually having a great day. Yeah. So, I hope you are too. Anyway, this message is going like woo, all over the place. I feel kind of like a pigeon, just like flying around and just kind of like squirrel, like, oh my god, that's, yeah. So let's get a little bit focused here. We need to rein in this Gemini energy that is being severely activated by Jupiter and kind of lean into the opposite, because opposite Gemini is Sagittarius, right? So Sagittarius is more about like being focused and more adventurous, but focused on a goal, like expansion through very precise means, right? Whereas Gemini is just kind of like, I want to explore and look under every rock, and yeah. So we're going to head into this Sagittarius energy a little bit here to bring forth this message today. And to do that, I'm going to focus us on a saying. I love to start these readings off with these sayings. So Spirit, please give us the most appropriate saying for the message trying to come through today. Thank you very much. Alright. I've had this one before. This is interesting. Because I said so, that's why. And it's funny, on the pre-shuffle, we have the Emperor, right? Because I said so, that's why. Authority. Authority, yeah. It's this idea of just like, your authority is... It is what it is because you said so, right? Like, you are your authority over yourself, right? And that seems to be what's coming through here. So, it's almost this idea of like, it's okay to want what you want, right? Obviously, you have to take into consideration other people. relationships, right? Gemini. But that is your authority. What makes you you is your inner knowing of who you are and what you want and why. And you don't even have to give anyone a reason why, because you are the authority over you, over yourself, right? It's a very emperor kind of energy here. So I almost get this feeling of like somebody questioning you, or like challenging your authority over who you are and what you're doing, what you're going after, right? And you're just like, they're like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing it that way? Blah blah blah. And your only reason is because I said so. That's why, right? It's definitely a very like paternal kind of like, it's like a parent speaking to their child, like, clean up your room, and the child, why? Because I said so. That's why. Last time I had this, I think I gave that example, but I did it in the opposite way, and I was like, well, you know, it'd actually be nice if parents would be more gentle with their kids and not just say because I said so, that's why, but be like, you should clean up your room because it's going to make the environment better and make you feel better. But in today's message, it feels different. It's like the reverse of that. It's like not a parent talking to a child, but rather like an adult talking to an adult, and they're questioning your reasons for doing things. And you don't feel like explaining yourself. It's just like, I don't have to explain why I have this calling, or why I feel this way, or why I feel I need to do this thing. I'm doing it because I said so. That's why. I don't owe you an explanation. That's the kind of energy. It's kind of like a rebellious feeling. That being said, since we're dealing with this like rebellious kind of energy, I wonder what is going on with Uranus. Everything seems to be heavily activated today. I have the degree set to only show things that are 3 degrees or less, so all these energies are very prevalent, right? And there's a lot going on, as you can see. But yeah, Uranus here in Taurus in the first house. Yeah, there we go, first house energy, along with Priapus, which is the basically the masculine version of Lilith, right? It's your like primal nature. It's like, yeah, it's just like the masculine side of Lilith, essentially. It's the whereas Lilith is the point that represents the moon's, I believe it's the apogee, the farthest point away from the Earth. Priapus represents the perigee, or the closest point to the Earth. And I could have that backwards, it might be the other way around, but either way, they represent critical points in the moon's orbit around the Earth. It's really interesting. Here I go again, going deep into these explanations for who knows why. I don't know. Pigeon's like, I got all these messages and we're going to talk about every single one of them, I guess. But anyway, rebelliousness. I do find it interesting that Priapus and Uranus are pretty close together too, right? Within 5 degrees. And they're both in the first house. So yeah. And it's, the Priapus is the masculine energy, right? The Emperor. So we're dealing with this very like authoritative, I know who I am, I know what I want, I know why I'm doing this, and I don't owe you an explanation for it. Now, obviously, there are circumstances where you might owe an explanation, like, for example, if money is involved and you owe somebody money, right, then you might owe them an explanation, right? So use your wisdom, use your, your own discernment, but there are situations where maybe people who you don't owe anything, you don't owe them an explanation, you don't owe them money, you don't owe them your time, you don't owe them anything. You don't have to explain yourself to those people. Unless you want to. And I get the feeling that you don't. Okay, let's get a figure and then I'll pull some cards. Dart, yeah, there's that Sagittarius, right? That aiming. Yes, the dart. Okay, so I think this is just a confirmation for what I was just saying. This is a rebellious energy, and I just remembered I have the archetypes out here too, and on the pre-shuffle for this, we have the mask, and it came out with this dark side facing up like that, and I immediately thought, okay, mask off, for one, and for two, it's like when the mask comes off, there's just so much underneath it that it just looks like an explosion of indiscernible blackness. It's like there's so much energy there that was repressed for a long time that once the mask comes off, it's just like the people witnessing it are just like, oh my god, I didn't know you were that deep. I didn't know you had that much depth to you, you know? They might have thought you were just this like surface level, like, oh, life is so good and rainbows and sunshine and blah 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 blah, but they didn't realize that you had these like extremely complex inner world going on this whole time until you decided to be like, no, I'm not gonna do anything that I don't want to do for you. I don't owe you anything, right? Yeah, and underneath that we have Apocalypses, which is a reveal, right? Literally mask off here is what these cards are saying. Okay, so I really like this energy. It's fun. It's very like high. I even made some tea because I was feeling a little tired, and I was like, man, I'm going to be really tired for this reading. I need some tea. I made some black tea. And I haven't even taken a sip of it yet. And I'm already like super wired tapping into this energy for the reading. So that being said, I did make this and I love tea, so I am going to take a sip really quick. Cheers. Oh my gosh, we are 16 minutes in and I haven't even pulled tarot yet, so let's do that. I actually feel I need to pull some archetypes first, so let's get the archetypes out and then we'll clarify with some tarot. Aha! Alright, so we got the shaman, right? This is a very rebellious kind of energy, reaching into the void, the depths of your soul, right? Like I said, when my dreams, I felt they were very intense, but I couldn't remember a single thing about them. And my meditations felt very deep, but I consciously could not recall what my experience was. But I was going super, it was like I went so far into the depths that I just, it's like I blacked out and I had to be pulled back up. But yeah, the ring. This was in yesterday's reading that I did. And I believe it was for the Terror the News video I did yesterday. But it's a promise. It's also a cycle. It can represent both. Promises create cycles in a way, because if say you make the promise at this side and you're trying to go around this whole thing and come back and complete the promise, right? So when you're promising something, you're really starting a cycle. And if you don't finish that cycle, well, you got loose ends. You didn't complete the ring, right? The mother. Okay, so there's some balance to this masculine energy we've been having, this nurturing energy, and along with the creator, yeah. So I take it that you have probably been delving either back into or deeper into whatever creativity is for you, whether that's like music or drawing, painting, singing, dancing, cooking. It can be anything, right? Filming, whatever, making videos for YouTube, whatever. I'm getting the feeling that you've been nurturing this recently, and you've actually been more focused on it than you have been in a while. For myself, this is definitely the case. I made a very tight schedule that I'm trying to adhere to every day to bring my creations further to life and to complete some promises that I made to myself. So I definitely seeing that energy reflected here on the table. And really still trying to go deep within myself to, connect with the source, right? The one. Alright. Let's go a little bit further here. Spirit, what do we need to know about this rebellious creative energy? Whoa. Okay, yeah, alright. So we got the Lovers, Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. Yeah, revival, right? This is a renewal. Yeah, it's the beginning of a new cycle. Both on a large scale for the new year, right? 2026. It is a 1 year. If you reduce 2026, you get 4 plus 6, which is 10, and then 1 plus 0, which is 1. Numerology, right? The Lovers. This is that Gemini energy coming through from Jupiter, right? This is sharing, caring, being committed to, right? The ring, this the promise, like I said. What it seems to be promises you have made yourself, but also promises you have made to yourself about how you relate to other people. We definitely have this mother energy coming through. The Queen of Cups, this is a very creative, psychic, nurturing energy. As you can see, she is fully aware with the full moon in the background there. So even though you might be having some pretty deep experiences right now that you can't consciously remember, they are within you. You did have those experiences and they exist inside of you somewhere. It's just maybe now's not the right time for you to be consciously aware of them. And we have Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, this is the investments. You can see it says results. So how do you get results? Well, you have to invest first in yourself, in your finances, in, X. Insert X here, and then consistently show up for it, right? And keep adding to it. And then eventually you get results. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Before I go into the cards more, let's get some nouns. So I definitely see a lot of just, embodying this very rebellious energy, but using it in such a way as to channel it into improving your life and chasing the things that you want. This message very much goes with the Terror of the News reading I did yesterday. It was like scientists discover exotic particles are resistant to quantum errors or something like that. It was the one I posted on January 7th if you're interested. But yeah, let's get some nouns. I'm just going to leave them at 12. So Spirit, please give us the most appropriate words for the message today. It automatically generates 12 words, which I use to represent the 12 houses in the zodiac system, right? So we're just going to go through that lens here. Alright, since we were dealing with the first house, I might not go through all of these, but whatever stands out to me, I'll just dive deep into that. So first house, your personality, right? Yourself. Sink. Yeah, going deep within yourself, sinking into yourself. Because the deeper that you grow down into yourself, that you root down into your true core, right? See how this hand is reaching out into the void here? It's the void of the one, the self. Right? Look at all those like valuable things out there, interesting things, this big expansive space. There's so much to discover here. And it takes time and patience. But as long as you show up for it and do it, you're going to find results, right? And you know this. You're very intuitive, you're very aware, and you're very connected with your interior world, Queen of Cups. It's like a really deep relationship with yourself. That's how I'm seeing the lovers come through in this reading. It's just like the relationship you are cultivating with yourself, it's already very deep, and it's only getting deeper all the time because you have established some kind of routine, right? You've established some kind of loop that, and this loop isn't just like a single loop, it's like a multifaceted loop that like spirals out and up and changes shapes, and like look at all that complicated ring in the center of this. And what's in the center there? A galaxy. Right? An interior world that is a universe unto itself. You're discovering this and finding so many things inside and really investing into them. And this is allowing you to express what inside into this exterior universe we find ourselves in a lot easier. So yeah, I love that. We were dealing with Jupiter in the third house, and we have Jam here. So yeah, it's jam. To me, this is speaking of jam in the sense of music, like jamming with people, right? Like you're in the groove, you're doing your thing, you're expressing your energy how you want it to be expressed, and other people are either vibing with you or they're not, and you don't care either way. You love when people vibe with you, of course, but if people don't, and they don't want any part of this jam sesh, right? Okay, that's fine, bye. Go do your thing. It's like it doesn't bother you anymore. That's what this feels like. It really, like, I'm imagining pigeons, and like I'm seeing them in like the parking lot of a grocery store, and how they just like, they don't give it one single F, right? They're just like there and doing their thing and finding their food or hanging out with each other and pooping all in the cars and stuff, right? And say they're in a parking lot and a car pulls up to park there, they just kind of move out of the way. Sometimes they don't even fly away. They just kind of like lazily hop away, right? They're just like, whatever, I'm just doing my thing. It's like that. It's like that kind of energy. And it's like you have so much within you to share, right? Pigeon, you're delivering messages in many different ways. Multifaceted message deliverer, right? For your interior, for the self, for source. Right? Because ultimately, what is at the core of everything? Well, the one. Right? The one. So really, getting to know yourself on this very deep level is getting to understand the world at large, outside of you, the exterior, because it's all reflected, it's all fractal, it's all repeating up and down the stack, right? So, by growing your roots deep, you're also growing your branches high. Roots down deep, branches up high, right? Woo-hoo. Yes. All right. Let's see. I don't know that I really need to go anywhere else with this. The last two I will look at is the 8th and the 9th house, since that was coming through with the stellium. We have the conjunction of the Sun, Venus, and Mars. So 8th house, this is like shared resources, intimacy, right? Secrets also. But we have bikes. Bicycle, right? This is making me think Gemini too. It's a duality, bicycle, right? Two, bi. And bikes, this is like a fun way of saying there's more than one. And perhaps within your sphere of sharing, right, of resources that you share with people, things that you are all dependent on, it's like you are all making movements together. You might not be doing the same thing, but you're all doing your own thing. You're all on your bike and you're riding, and you might not be going to the same places, but you're out there exploring and riding. So that leads me to the 9th house, which says girl. So we have a young feminine energy coming through here in this explorative, focused house. So it's, to me, this is like an exploration of this like fresh feminine energy, this interior, right? It's like you are an adventurous explorer, as I've been saying, but it's of this feminine interior world. The shaman. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. I don't want this video to go too long. I'm already at 27 minutes here, so I'm just going to get a closing message here with some cards, and we'll call it good. This one was fun. I hope you are feeling this energy. This is definitely a change from the past like couple months. The energy has felt very dense and heavy and just like a sludge. It was nice in a way, but oh, okay. King of Pentacles flipping out over there. And the Hermit. Yeah, it was definitely a Hermit energy. Last year was a 9-year. This is the 9th major arcana of the tarot, Hermit, right? And the Hermit energy is nice. And then we have a confirmation, 9 again, 9 of Wands. Yeah, so this is perseverance, hanging in there, even though you're tired, right? It's like you made it through. You made it through the Hermit phase, and now you are more in touch and stable with yourself than ever. King of Pentacles. Secure. Yeah, you're secure in yourself. We have a 3rd quarter moon there in the background. That, at the time of this reading, this is a timeless reading, so whenever it finds you, there's most likely a message here for you. Please use your own discernment above anything I say. But 3rd quarter moon coming up on January 11th as I record this. It is currently the 8th, so yeah. 3 days. Sorry, January 10th. No, 2 days, yeah. The 3rd quarter moon's on January 10th, which is this Saturday coming up. Yeah, so the Hermit, 9 of Wands, King of Pentacles. Yeah, so your new identity may be somewhat controversial. Like I said, not everyone is going to vibe with you or want to jam with you. And you know what? That's okay. They don't have to. You know who you are. You know what you want. You know what you're going after. You know what you believe. You're very solid in who you are now. And that is a very beautiful thing. And it's because of this perseverance of you going super deep within yourself and remaining committed to your routines that you know were cycling you up through the many rings of this experience we call life. And now you have made it to this new chapter where you feel more in tune than ever, right? And you're ready. You're ready for these opportunities to be creative and nurture those creations and see where they can go. You want to do these investments and you want to see the results from them. You're committed to this now more than ever. So that is where I'm going to end it. I want to thank Pigeon Spirit for being here with us today for this message. It was very fun. And also just the spirit of everything that is, right? Whatever that means to you. God, the universe, the Most High, Spirit, whatever you call it. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. So as always, take care of yourselves. Keep your heart open. Bye.